Welcome. Today we're doing a deep dive into something surprisingly common: vitamin D deficiency, specifically in older populations across the globe. And it's not just about sunshine, really. We're finding these, startling differences linked to gender, where people live, even cultural habits. Our mission is to unpack these differences, figure out why they happen, and look at some smart, culturally sensitive solutions. Okay, let's get into it.
It's fascinating, really, the scale of it. We're talking about 77% of people worldwide being deficient. That's huge. And older people, they're hit disproportionately hard. But the variation is what's really striking. Take Yemen. Get this. 62% of those deficient are women compared to only 15% men. Big difference. Or geographically, you've got Northern Europe, places like Sweden, doing surprisingly well, only 5% severely low. But then Middle Eastern and South Asian populations, deficiency rates can shoot over 80%. It really challenges what you'd expect.
Yeah, that is counterintuitive. Less sun up north in Europe, but often better vitamin D than down south. So what else is going on here? If it's not just about latitude, what are we missing?
That's exactly the question, isn't it? If latitude isn't the whole story, what is? And, while culture seems key, dietary habits make a massive difference. Like you see in Scandinavia, they tend to eat more cod liver oil, more vitamin D-rich fish. That helps a lot. And clothing choices, too. They have a dramatic impact. Studies showed Turkish and Moroccan women in the Netherlands averaging just 15-20 lunamol.
Wow, 15-20, that's really low.
Extremely low, especially compared to, say, native Dutch women at around 53 lunamol. I mean, generally, anything under 30 lunamol is seen as severely deficient. So over 80% of those immigrant women were deficient. It's quite stark. And we even see migration changing things. In Inuit populations, for instance, their vitamin D levels dropped when they moved away from traditional fish diets towards, processed Western foods. So really the takeaway is that human behavior, diet, culture often matters more than just geography when it comes to vitamin D.
It sounds like a perfect storm brewing for many people then. Especially, it seems, for elderly women. Get hormonal changes after menopause, maybe less time outdoors, and the skin just not making vitamin D as efficiently. Is one of those the biggest factor, or is it all of them together?
It's definitely a combination, a synergy, really, but aging itself plays a huge part. Think of your skin like a solar panel, right? As you age, that panel gets less efficient, produces less vitamin D from the same sun exposure. After 65, it's maybe 25% less efficient. After 75, it could be 50% less. And while, say, in Canada, older women actually average a bit higher than older men, 84.5 millimol versus 72.2, that pattern flips in many Middle Eastern and South Asian places. Their cultural factors often impact women more severely. But, and this is important, older men aren't immune. Severe deficiency happens there too, especially for those in institutional care settings.
Okay, so these specific groups are facing this perfect storm. But what actually happens if someone stays deficient? What are the real-world consequences we should know about, beyond just weaker bones?
Well, the bigger picture is pretty concerning. Deficiency means about a 40% higher risk of fractures, plus increased risk of falls because of muscle weakness. That really hits independence, quality of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it doesn't stop there. It significantly impairs the immune system. So older people become more vulnerable to respiratory infections, maybe autoimmune issues, perhaps even worse outcomes from things like COVID-19. There are even links suggesting higher risks of hypertension, diabetes getting worse, and cognitive decline too. It's a silent problem affecting multiple systems.
Wow, okay. So given all these complex factors, the aging, the culture, the diet, geography, what can actually be done? What kind of culturally sensitive solutions are out there for you or your loved ones?
Right, the solutions need to be tailored. Success really demands population-specific thinking. Finland, for example, had remarkable success just by mandating vitamin D fortification in dairy products. Simple, but effective there. For other groups, you need more targeted approaches. Things like higher dose supplements, maybe up to 4,000 IU daily, seem effective for immigrant groups or women who cover culturally. And IU, that just stands for international units. The standard way we measure the biological activity of vitamins helps standardize the dose. What's also interesting is fortifying culturally specific foods, like adding vitamin D to chapati flour for South Asian communities. That seems to work better sometimes than just general food fortification. And the guidelines are catching up too. New recommendations from 2024 suggest adults over 75 might need up to 1,000 IU daily. High-risk women, maybe 2,000 to 4,000 IU daily. Healthcare systems also have a role. They really need to think about annual testing for high-risk older adults and offer, gender-specific advice.
This has been really revealing. It shows that getting enough vitamin D isn't just a simple medical thing. It touches on social justice, on cultural understanding, public health, It's all interconnected. Preventing these widespread deficiencies, which are correctable, really needs strategies that understand this deep interplay of gender, geography, and culture.
Absolutely. It makes you think, doesn't it? What kind of food fortification or maybe community health programs could make the biggest difference for the diverse people you know? How do we ensure every older person gets the vitamin D they need for better health?